spiders, snakes, worms, bats, and countless other creatures. These are just a few of the unusual items commonly consumed in China. This isn't a video about exotic animals. It's about the deeply rooted history and reasons behind China's unique food culture, which is often seen as strange or even shocking. Dubbed one of the richest cuisines in the world, Chinese culinary traditions combine unimaginable ingredients into elaborate dishes. But why did this practice originate? The answer lies in a harsh reality: survival against all odds. Welcome to History and Mystery. In the late 17th century, China's population was estimated at around 130 million. Throughout history, China has consistently had one of the largest populations globally. The reasons are tied to its vast, fertile lands, favorable climate diversity, and agricultural innovations that sustained food production and facilitated population growth. However, a large population, while advantageous during times of stability, can become a double-edged sword. Mismanagement of such a massive populace often led to devastating consequences, as history has repeatedly shown. The Chinese government's approach to managing this enormous population was rooted in strict food control and authoritarian rule. Farmers, the backbone of the agrarian economy, were often treated as mere tools for production. Over centuries, the state imposed rigid quotas on farmers, demanding specific yields. Failing to meet these quotas resulted in severe consequences, ranging from reduced food rations to harsh punishments. For many, relentless labor under these conditions became the only means of survival. This population pressure wasn't merely a statistical reality. It shaped every facet of Chinese society. The vast number of mouths to feed necessitated a highly adaptive food culture. In such conditions, waste was unthinkable, and the boundaries of what was considered edible expanded dramatically. From utilizing parts of animals that were discarded in other cultures to transforming insects into protein sources, necessity dictated innovation. Given the oppressive nature of such governance, one might wonder why large-scale revolts didn't occur more frequently in China. While there were uprisings, they were relatively limited in scope compared to revolutionary movements in other parts of the world. Some researchers propose a fascinating theory. Dietary habits might influence a society's propensity for rebellion. It is suggested that societies with diets rich in red meat, often associated with strength and aggression, may be more inclined to resist and revolt. Conversely, agrarian communities dependent on grains and vegetables may develop more submissive and cooperative tendencies. Though this theory lacks conclusive evidence, it offers an intriguing lens through which to view historical patterns. Another critical factor was the systemic suppression of dissent. The ruling elite's grip on power was maintained through a combination of fear, indoctrination, and strategic food distribution. Hunger was a powerful tool, not only as a natural consequence of resource scarcity, but also as a deliberate method of control. Those who challenged authority faced the risk of starvation or exile, effectively silencing opposition before it could gain traction. The mid-20th century marked a turning point in China's history under Mao Zedong's leadership. As the founder of the People's Republic of China in 1949, Mao's policies had far-reaching impacts, none more catastrophic than the Great Leap Forward, launched in 1958. This campaign aimed to rapidly industrialize the nation and boost agricultural output. However, its execution was deeply flawed. communes were established, where people lived and worked under stringent state control. Payment for labor often came in the form of minimal food rations, barely sufficient for survival. Mao's obsession with industrial progress led to a singular focus on production quotas, disregarding the human toll. Simultaneously, the Cultural Revolution, initiated in 1966, sought to eradicate China's historical and cultural roots. Historical artifacts, traditional practices, and even ancient texts were destroyed. Craftsmen were persecuted, temples demolished, and entire communities uprooted. This cultural erasure aimed to reshape the Chinese identity, but left a profound void in its wake. The human cost of these policies was staggering. Families were torn apart as individuals were sent to labor camps. Children were often left to fend for themselves, their education and well-being sacrificed in the pursuit of national goals. Starvation became a daily reality for millions, pushing communities to the brink of collapse. Among Mao's ill-conceived policies, the Sparrow Campaign of 1958 stands out for its ecological and human consequences. Sparrows were declared pests for allegedly eating grain, and a nationwide campaign to exterminate them ensued. Millions of sparrows were killed, disrupting the ecological balance. The unintended consequence was a surge in locust and pest populations, which devastated crops and triggered widespread famine. This ecological disaster compounded the already dire situation. By the early 1960s, the Great Chinese Famine claimed the lives of an estimated 60 million people. Stories of desperation and survival emerged, painting a grim picture of human resilience. Communities consumed anything they could find: insects, tree bark, grass, and even mud. As resources dwindled further, harrowing accounts of cannibalism surfaced. Survivors recall eating the dead to stave off starvation. Such acts, while unthinkable, highlight the depths of human desperation in the face of survival. Beyond the immediate toll, the campaign left lasting scars on the environment. The decimation of bird populations disrupted entire ecosystems, leading to soil degradation and reduced agricultural productivity for years to come. The failure of the Sparrow Campaign serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of short-sighted policies driven by ideology rather than science. The psychological scars left by the famine have permeated generations. Families taught their children to view all living creatures as potential food sources, a survival mechanism born of necessity. While modern China has seen a decline in the consumption of exotic animals, the shadows of the past linger. Food insecurity remains a pressing concern due to factors such as climate change, overpopulation, and environmental degradation. Reports suggest that by 2030, climate-induced droughts and reduced agricultural yields could impact hundreds of millions of people in China. The environmental toll of rapid industrialization has further exacerbated the issue. Polluted rivers and depleted farmland pose significant challenges to sustaining the nation's food supply. Moreover, the cultural impact of these traumas has influenced global perceptions of Chinese cuisine. Dishes once born of necessity are now celebrated for their ingenuity, yet they remain deeply tied to a history of survival. The resilience of the Chinese people in the face of adversity is reflected in their culinary traditions, which transform scarcity into abundance and adversity into creativity. China's history reveals a recurring theme: survival in the face of adversity. The lessons of the past hold valuable insights for addressing future challenges. As the nation grapples with mounting environmental and population pressures, the world watches closely. Will China find sustainable solutions, or will history repeat itself? The story of why the Chinese eat everything is one of resilience, trauma, and adaptation. It is a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure and evolve. As we reflect on these events, let us strive to create a future where such tragedies remain firmly in the past. Thank you for engaging with this exploration of history. Your thoughts and insights are invaluable. Please share them as we continue to learn and grow together. See you in the next video. Have a great week. Take care.